Welcome to this tutorial on using the Shapemaker tool in Quark Express 9. For this tutorial we're going to be using the Shapemaker. It's here under Utilities. Now the Shapemaker tool allows you to create shapes for text boxes and also for graphic images or for no boxes. So we have a number of different types. We have waves. Waves give you a number of different presets. So for example, if you were going to create something like a flag, you could basically create something that's 3 by 4 and you can change how many waves there are here. You can also change the phase, which moves the wave left and right, and the amplitude increases or decreases the effect. And then once you're happy with that, you hit create and it creates your shape. You could also add a color to that. So that's one thing you can do. Let's move that over there. The second type of shape we can do is polygons. You can change the curvature of a polygon. So for example here, I'm making something that looks a bit like a clover, so we'll add 5. We can also rotate the orientation of it. And we can also change the size to suit. Hit create, and there's our box. Scale that down a little bit. And we could fill that with a different color. Now let's have a look at spirals. Under Utilities, basically if you turn on the smooth list you get nice smooth round spirals, and you can also change the type of spiral, and you can also change whether it's clockwise or counterclockwise. This is quite useful if you're creating like a text path, for example. So if you hit create, if we use the text tool, I'm selecting all that text now. We can go ahead and zoom that up a little bit, make it a little bit bigger. Let's make it really big. As you can see, we can rotate this, but we can also do a number of things while it's selected. So if we go under Shapemaker, pull this over to the right here, and we want to change it to the different setting. Let's try 4. If we have alter current box selected, turn it on to clockwise, we can hit create, and it now has altered the current box. Go ahead and reduce the size of the text, and we can select that text there, copy, and then I'm just going to paste it. Okay, so that's really cool. Finally, we have rectangles. Now rectangles are great for text boxes, picture boxes, or just no boxes. And you can change whether you have a normal box, a rounded box. You can change the curvature type. You can have beveled boxes. You can have concave boxes, pointed boxes, and inset boxes, and change the balance on how that works. Now any of these that you have you can save as a preset. So if you wanted to save that, say a red cross or something shape, you can save that shape as a preset. You notice it can also change the current selected objects as well. So let's go to a file here. On this one here, I want to show you how we bring in a graphic and use Shapemaker to quickly edit the shape around a graphic. So I'm going to delete this using the delete key, and now I'm going to go ahead and click on the picture content tool, which is R on your keyboard, and just drag out a box. I can double click on that box, or I can use Command E on the Mac or Control E on Windows. So double click and it brings up the dialog box. So I'm going to look for a graphic. This is a Photoshop file. Bring that in. Photoshop files get flattened into one image, so click OK. Now you notice this file has multiple images on it, so we're going to drag this one over to the one we want. You'll notice these boxes here enables us to scale the image up and down and position it. We can also rotate as well. If we move outside of that area, we can rotate as the cursor changes. Command Z, Control Z on your keyboard to undo. And now I could use the select tool here to actually edit the points, but I'm actually going to use the Shapemaker to speed things up a bit. So go to Shapemaker, and we're going to use the polygon tool, and we want regular polygons. We only want 4 sides, and we don't need any curvature, so we'll tool that back. Don't need any orientation because we want it to match the shape of this. Make sure alter current box is selected. Hit create. Now we're going to do a little minor edit. We're going to select this point tool here, and we're going to just pull these in a little bit. You'll notice that the text right now is butting up against the edge of the shape. If we want to get rid of that, it's quite easy to do. We can do that on the item runaround, and we can actually add some space. If I hit 5, hit apply, and you'll notice it adds some space around that. And in this file we have a chapter selection for like a magazine, and I want to position this box into this area here. I've already started doing this, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom it to actual size. I'm going to right click and say fit actual size, and using the Alt key on the Mac or the Option key on Windows, I'm going to use the hand grabber to move over to here. I've got a style set for this in my style sheet here, so I'm just going to finish that off. So the first letter, using the T text tool, that's N right there. I'm going to change that down here to Zap Dingbat. So I'm just going to type Z, A, and Zap Dingbat comes up. Press OK. Zoom that up a little bit. Or what I could do is I could just copy that one and paste it there. That's even easier. Let me select this title, and that's my heading. This is my subtitle, and this is my page number. Okay, now make this a little bit more interesting. We can have a background color. So what I can do is select the background color. We could change the background color to a new color. So I'm over here. I can do it 2 ways. I can either do it from this box here, or I can say add a new color here. Choose like a light blue. We'll give it a reference name, light blue background, click OK, and we can actually apply that light blue color to our box by just clicking and dragging it. Now to make this a little bit more interesting, I'm going to select the cursor at the top here, add a line space, and we're going to basically pull the text in a little bit. But before we do that, let's go ahead and move it. So I'm going to zoom out, click on the object and drag it over here. Now first thing I need to do is I want to make sure that the text runs around. So I'm going to use item run around and choose item, and I can set that up. So in this case I'll use 5 points, click apply, OK. Now I'm going to pull this back a little bit so the text runs around this side. Okay, and then I'm going to pull this up. Now if I go too far, let me zoom in actual size. If I zoom in too far, the little red marker here indicates the text has overflowed, so I can pull this down until that goes away. Now I need to add a little bit of space around here before we use our Shapemaker tool. So basically I can go under item, modify, and if I click on text, in text insert, let's go ahead and put a 5 point, hit apply, OK. Now let's change the shape. So we're going to use Shapemaker. Shapemaker lets us use rectangles, and in this case we'll use rounded. We'll get a little bit of rounded effect there. That looks fine. Make sure alter current box is selected, hit create, and there you have it. And that ends our tutorial on using the Shapemaker tool in Quark Express.